Hey guys, what's up? Allie here. You already know who that is, but yeah, whatever. A-L-E is a name. I'm gonna do a video tonight on my biggest fail moments. So one of the biggest fails of my life, I have five, I think. About five huge fails. So the first fail is riding my bike into a tree. Yeah, I know it sounds common, everybody does it, but not the way that this happens with me. So I just got a brand new bike from Walmart. It was $210, and I decided to be a show-off, and so I rode it up this really big hill. And there was a car coming, and I was just like, oh, I'm going to see if I can race this car. So I turned my gears down because it was on a high level, and if it's on a lower level, you go a little faster, but it's just harder to pedal, because you gotta pedal double time. So I decided to show off and be like, yeah, I'm gonna race this car. And then so we started driving, the car slowed down and I was racing it. And and then I didn't see an animal that was crossing the street because I was looking at the car. So I'm pedaling, and then I look in front of me and I'm just like, oh, an animal! And then so I couldn't slam on brakes because I wasn't in a car, and I wasn't gonna slam on my bike brakes because I'd fly off. So I looked both ways, and then I just decided to swerve, and I ran into our neighbor's yard. And my bike was sitting up against the tree. I didn't get hurt, luckily, because there was grass. But yeah, that was a pretty big fail. Another fail I had was skateboarding. I was skateboarding with a couple friends, and I decided to try to do an ollie. And an ollie is the easiest thing to do on a skateboard, so for me to mess it up, I felt pretty stupid. And so I tried to do an ollie, and my shoe was untied, and I didn't realize my shoelace was stuck under the skateboard, so when I brought it up, when I tried to lift my feet off, my foot got stuck under the wheel, and I ended up falling with a skateboard slip up from under me. That was a pretty big fail. Everyone falls up the stairs, but not everyone falls into a doorway. And I'm going to tell you how this happened. So I decided to check the mail one day for my mom just to be nice. And she had a pair of Diva slippers. And, me being 11 at the time, I was just like, oh yeah, I'm a diva. So I put them on, and I started walking out to the mailbox, and I got back in. Well, I got the mail, and then on my way back in, I tripped over the door, that little step you take before you get inside your house with the little door thingy. Don't know what it's called. I kind of forgot. And I tripped on that with the Diva slippers, and with the mail in my hand, I slid from the front of my door into my kitchen area. Now, if you know my house, it's a pretty good distance to slide. And there was a glass table right there. This was a really long time ago, so things are a little different now. And so I slipped from my door into that table. And I hated every bit of it, so I threw those Diva slippers away, and I've never been a diva since. Let's see. Now, I was with my friend Devin one day, and we were just walking around the neighborhood, and we ran into this guy named Christian, and he's a girl we know. It's her dad. So, and Christian was walking his dog. I forgot the dog's name. And then so I was just like, oh yay, a dog, because I love animals. And Devin was just kind of like, oh yeah, it's cute or whatever. And then so here I am. I sit on the floor, and I didn't know that the dog had peed. And so I sat on the floor, and I was like, come here, puppy, that whole thing. So I started petting the dog, and Devin's over there cracking up and trying not to start crying. And then so a couple minutes go by, and I'm still petting the dog, and I feel something wet on my leg. So I was just like, oh, I'm wet. I thought I got water on my pants. And then so we leave, and Devin's walking away. She starts busting out laughing. She's just like, Alicia, you just got peed on. And I was just like, what do you mean? No, I didn't. And she just like, did you not see that dog pee before he jumped in your lap? And I was just like, oh no. So yeah, I got peed on by a dog. that was a big fail. And my last fail is also one that I told Devin about, falling off my roof. Yeah, don't ever try that. It's not very smart. I did it because this was about last year, maybe 2 years ago. There were these people that my grandparents were counseling, so they used to be over at our house like every Tuesday, which was fine, but they had a 13-year-old son who had a crush on me, and I knew every time that he came over, he'd try to hit on me. So one day, to avoid all that, I tried to sneak out my window, and my window's right on top of my roof, and so I was just kind of bracing myself because I'm just like, okay, how am I going to get down? And I was planning on running over to Devin's house to get away. So I didn't quite make it that far. Actually didn't make it that far at all, because when I tried to crawl around my roof to try to find a way down, I ended up slipping on the gutter and fell straight off my roof. Yeah. That wasn't very fun. Yeah, that was pretty stupid of me. But it happened, so, I mean, stuff happens. Those are my biggest fail moments so far, I think. But the one that happened this year was when it snowed really bad. I woke up on a Sunday to snow. I think it was a Sunday, maybe a Saturday. I feel like it was a Saturday. I don't remember, but there was snow outside. And, you know, I thought it was only snow. And then so I had to go take something outside into the trash. And so I knew, I was just like, okay, where there's snow, there might be a little ice. And then, but it didn't look icy at all. Like, the only thing that looked icy were the trees. So I was just like, it'll be fine. And then so I'm going outside, and then I carefully step down the little stairs, a 4 stairs before you get up to my porch. So I was just walking down the stairs cautiously because I just knew I was going to fall. And then I got to the bottom and I started stomping around. So I'm just like, yeah, this isn't so bad. I'm not going to fall. And then so I start walking with this big bag of trash in my hand. And then I'm walking, and then I hit one little, I didn't see ice at all. It looked like snow. So I stepped on it and I slid. And you know how, like, in Home Alone, when the little kid broke the little necklace and the pearls flew everywhere and the guys were running, how they felt like their feet scrambled and they fell up and then down? That was me, but with trash in my hand. And I got trash everywhere. So I was sliding around in my driveway on my hands and knees in shorts, trying to put the trash back in the bag. And then so I crawled the rest of the way there. I said the west. Ooh. So I crawled the rest of the way there, and ever since then, I've hated snow. So yeah, those are some of my biggest fails, and feel free to share your fails because I've just pretty much embarrassed myself. So, sayonara, tschüss, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, hasta luego, ciao, whatever you speak, bye, I guess.